Y'all, welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary, sir. Oh my God, I can't even speak. The energy's coming in so high, y'all. We're on for a special call on Beyond the Ordinary show. And Phyllis Douglas reached out to us. She says, the soul of the earth is coming through and has a really important offering for humanity's awaken. And Phyllis wanted to share it on our community platform. And so today we're going to get into a transmission of the Soul of Earth Light scroll reading and a transmission where Phyllis will be transmitting a message from Gaia. Um, it's going to be a profound call. I want to invite all of y'all listening to be in a place of receptivity and also of amplifying your own light so that we can amplify this message, not just for us to receive, but where else can it blossom to because of what we hold in our container with our intentions, our lights, our love for humanity as well. And so it's not about being a spiritual consumer, but being an awakened beacon, which you all are, and carrying that forward. And we'll all learn along the process. We'll all receive, of course, but this is going to be really special. So thank you all for being here. Um, Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's transmission. And this is going to be way beyond a reading, y'all. It's a vibrational initiation. And if you're not familiar with Phyllis, oh my God, you're in for an experience. Phyllis works alongside Elohim, and she's known as Vox Angelis, the voice of the angels, and transmits the highest heavenly sound signatures of sacred design and creation through her voice via energetic emanation. And it's with that, Phyllis, that I'm so grateful that you're on today. This feels so appropriate.
Well, thank you for saying yes. And I'm actually I'm very excited. I do what are called light. I can't even speak. I'm sweating so profusely
Both
right
of
now. Not
us.
that
It's like,
everybody
what
wanted to
is
know,
happening? Yeah.
but the energy coming in is so profound, and I haven't even started. Uh, I do what's called light scroll readings, and those are the readings of your soul contract. And it is a remembrance of why you came into this physical incarnation and what it is that you came to do. It's done in light language uh, and frequency, and I can access what they call your light scroll, and then I read that. Sometimes I'm literally reading something, and other times it is more frequencies that's coming in. And then Elohim came to me and said, well, we want you to do a light scroll reading for Gaia, for our planet Earth. And I was kind of, I'm not sure what that entails, right? And they're not, and it's really accessing the soul of the Earth, but it is not just for her. It's not really that she needs to know it, but there is a lot of distortion and things that have happened because of things that humanity has done and throughout hundreds of years. And so it's about putting those frequencies into better alignment and resonance. But this is also about, and what they want you to say is, they're like, did you know that you as humanity hold agreements to support Gaia's healing and activation, and she in turn supports our awakening and embodiment of divine truth. And so there's a reciprocity that needs to happen. And through the ancient peoples and so forth, that was not a challenge, that was not an issue. But as we progressed, we have become more and more detached from the earth and how she is in service to us and how we are to be in service or stewardship for her, right? And it's been more about taking and not giving, right? And so in the reading of this light scroll, it is not just a reminder for Mother Earth. It is a reminder energetically on a soul level for humanity. And what it is that we were meant to do, not only individually but collectively, and how we are to be in aini or balance with Gaia and in stewardship, how we used to reciprocate back and forth with our needs and our desires. And so that's what I'm going to be offering today. And I just feel like the energy's like
feel it too. I feel it too so strongly. I have to share with you, I was not in full consciousness of the topic of our call today before we started, and I think that was by design, according to my guides. And I went into deep meditation 30 minutes before we started our call, and there she was, Mother Earth, just in her glory, just amplified in the energy, and it's whether it's subconscious or inspired. Um, I can't tell you, but I can tell you how perfectly aligned it is for what's being held. And I'm grateful for the high vibrational standard that you're capable of holding to transmit that message so that we not only receive it, but that we may be a steward for what's being offered.
Yeah, the other thing, thank you for that. And then the other thing, and I'm kind of reading because it's so fun. I would have to admit that Elohim gives me these these jobs to do, so to speak, and they just throw all of this stuff down, and I don't memorize it in that sense. I'm a vessel, and so I'm the conduit. And so often I don't pay as much attention to the everything over here in explanation of it because I want to be a clear channel and I'm not focused on descriptions and defining what it is that I do. But what we will also, they want me to share what we will also be doing is activating what they call the aspects of your spherical and intertwining light strands of DNA that reside outside of the physical form. And that's often called spiritual DNA. Is that? And within the etheric realm, and a process of energetic and spiritual activation occurring beyond the physical body with a subtle non-physical layer of your multidimensional self. So it's also really connecting not only Mother Earth, but humanity itself to our divine blueprint, our holy template, our holy selves. So I'm really going to be connecting to the I am presence of Mother Earth, but also speaking to the I am presence, that highest essence of your listeners and those that are participating. Yeah.
Phyllis, can I ask you why now?
It's really important right now because there are many things that are happening as a society, but also politically, right? And a loss of land and just a number of initiatives and so forth that are coming forward that are not in that are really not truly in the best interest of Mother Earth, right, Gaia, but also long term for humanity. Because what Elohim has been telling me all along is that, it's like that instant gratification. It is for us. And there's like this box. It's for all of us that are in this box. But what happens to our descendants? What happens to our children's children and their children? What happens to our future? Right? And so there are, just say, groups of people that are not focused on our future as a collective. They are focused on what they decide that they need or we need now, which we really don't need now, in a sense, right? And they're wanting us to remember, just to reveal what our ancestors and the ancients knew all along, that has really been kind of buried and it's not really being revealed within people now. And a lot of the children, younger children that are born, they have no problem with that. They have that connection to all things. There's an understanding. And so you see a lot of young people coming forward now saying, what are you doing? Right? Like, what about me?
Yeah.
And And so it's really about recognizing what it is that's happening at from a higher perspective, because I think a lot of people just, they're in it, right? And they just don't really see what's past their nose, so to speak. They don't see what's going to, they're just hearing we're going to do this. And you're saying, well, I don't know if that's a good idea necessarily. But they're not seeing what it means long term for our planet and for our people. And so that's one of the things. It's really about remembrance and revealing within the collective that you are God, the creator, in physical form. You are the creators of your reality. Thusly, you are the creators of your world. But you yourself are not necessarily stepping into the role of creator and creating what it is that you desire. You are allowing other people to create what they feel that you desire and do for you. And that's not working. And so it's really about recognition, acknowledgement, and just revealing truth from that perspective.
What agreements do we hold that maybe we're not conscious of to really support Gaia's activation?
There was always initially in agreement that when we came into this physical form, there was an agreement that we are living upon the planet, the earth, which is a sentient, intelligent being, and that we are living in reciprocity of that. So we were living in a united way. And we haven't. I mean, there are peoples that are doing that, but as a collective whole, we are no longer doing that. We're not recognizing those original soul agreements that we had. And so that's why there's this whole, you need to remember. And that's going all the way back to your ancestors and the ancient peoples that we stand atop the shoulders of, right? And just really recognizing and beginning to honor that through ourselves. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. I really also appreciate your awareness of the different evolutions, I'll say, of Earth and the transcendence that's happening and our relationship also to energies that we're aware of. For example, the Schumann resonance. It's like we get affected by that resonance for a particular reason in connection to Gaia. And I'd love it if you bring in a little perspective for us as well as before we get into this transmission. And by the way, the transmission, y'all, it's it's going to be a little longer than typical transmissions that we have on the show. And I can't tell if it's going to be 10 minutes or 30 minutes, but it's going to be perfect for what we are all here to experience and activate and share now, and to allow that to ripple out simultaneously as we carry that awakened consciousness within us. So whether you're listening live or on the replay, and on the replay, whether that's later this afternoon or a year from now because you picked up on it, it's all part of the awakening that we as pillars or rods grounding it into the earth get to carry forward in awareness and in our awakening. But yes, the Schumann resonance. Tell us more about that.
Well, that's part of, there are interwoven strands or geometries that make up our, what I call this, the spherical, I can't say the word, spherical field around each living being. And so we are, through those strands, those interwoven strands, we are interconnected to all things. There is nothing that we are not connected to. And so when we talk about the Schumann resonance, or the things that happen with the sun and the moon and the astrological occurrences and all of that, we feel that because we are a part of that and because we are that in a sense, right? And so that the Schumann resonance is the way that the earth is speaking, and we are interconnected with her, but we are also feeling and hearing and sensing that as well. So along with the Schumann resonance, and then along with the astrological occurrences and the plasma things from the sun and like all of that, right? There's so much energy that is actually coming in to assist humanity and the planet with our ascendancy, just kind of awakening and what I like to call ascendancy, right? We're rising up. And the truth of it is we're supposed to rise up together. But the bigger truth of it is that our planet can rise without us. And you know, I did like a whole channeling thing, which I don't even have with me now, and that would take too much time. But I was talking to Gaia the other day, and I wrote out all this stuff, and I wrote it all down. And she was basically saying it wasn't really like a warning because it was stated in love. And she said at the end that she can ascend with or without us. Right? It's really the earth, not the peoples. So it would be nice if we ascended. And there are beings all over the place, you know, that are not on Earth. We'll just say that are really watching this, and we are teaching them because they did not have to go through the same experiment, so to speak, that we are going through on our planet. And so we came in with the ability to basically do as we please, right? We came in with free will. But the thing is that we were to break through and elevate from that in order to exist within God's will, because we are God within physical form. And that's been a challenge. We'll just put it that way. That has been a challenge. And so she was telling me that she loves us and she's been supporting us since the beginning of time, our time. And so, but she can ascend without us.
And that's a beautiful, sober awareness. It also honors our sovereignty as well,
Exactly.
which in turn honors her sovereignty, which the circuitry and the mutuality that is necessary.
Yes. Yeah.
As we all rise as interconnected but separate through choice. But
oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, we're individuals, but we are sovereign. But it's the same thing when we think about humans living in community, right? Well, we're supposed to be living in communion or community with our planet as well, right?
Right.
And so that's kind of what we're sovereign, individuated beings, but we should be living together in unison, in community.
Yeah. I have a question about the transmission. I want to get to that in a second, but I want to share. It was probably about 9 years ago when I first moved to Kauai, and I was guided to have a somatic session with a particular practitioner here on the island who carried some very specific codes. And when she put me on the table, and within 5 minutes, I was sobbing, crying as I was receiving messages from Gaia. Direct message. I was in perfect connection with her. There was no mistaking it. And her message to me is like, John, you have it wrong. You can't destroy me. There's nothing that you can do to truly destroy me, and I would not allow it. But I love you so much that I'm willing to reflect to you what you are doing to yourselves. And I will hang on until the very edge of what you believe my destruction will be, because I care about you that much. But make no mistake about it, I am ascending as well. And I will hold the space for you as long as I need to. So don't worry about me. Really concentrate on self-realization rather than being outwardly focused on how you're supposed to fix me. But there's an attunement that takes place, and the vibrational alignments and the relational dynamics have to be in reverence of one another for humanity to ascend with me. And it was so beautiful.
That's beautiful. That gave me chills. And that was really along the lines of my conversation with her last week. It was the same thing. And you mentioned, if it didn't go out of my head here, you had mentioned her. Yeah. So that was one of the things that she was telling me. She's like, you can't destroy me, right? You know, people are like, you're raping the land, you're taking all of this stuff, you're doing, and she's like, no, I mean, she will stop it. You're right. She will stop it if it comes to that point, but she doesn't want to. And she had expressed many times how much she loves and honors us.
Chills again. Wow.
And And that's kind of the thing. And you think, if you mistreat a family member or a friend, it's the same type of repercussions and things as mistreating our planet as well.
Oh,
And yeah, I can't say, I don't have anything else to say
it's
about that. But
it's so much love and such beauty. I'm feeling so much energy here, and I don't know if it's from Elohim, from Gaia, um, and that's your platform here today, but it's definitely amplified. Before we get started into the transmission, those listening, including myself, what would she like for us to receive, to hold? How can we attune to it? If it's a lot of energy, how can we nurture the assimilation of it as we harmonize with the frequency? And any other suggestions that you would have after this, what's promising or building up to be a very powerful vibrational attunement?
all right, they're saying that we wish for you to do nothing other
Hmm.
than to relax back and breathe. And the breath itself is a circulatory measure when you have when there's a lot of energy flowing through, or you're kind of feeling energy stuck or what have you, where you feel like it's too much. They're like, breathe, because the energy may or may not, depending on who you are, and the whatever it is that you are holding, it may feel like a lot, right? And it may not. If it does feel like a lot, don't stop, right? Just relax into it and breathe. There's nothing else that you need to do but just witness yourself and to listen, because you're receiving this on the level of the soul, your I am presence, right? And within your higher consciousness, there's an awakening or a revealing that's happening of truth from within you.
Hmm.
It's not something you're missing. It's not something I'm giving you or anything. It's already there. It's just bringing it into alignment and resonance, right? Bringing you into alignment and resonance. All of your past experiences, any type of distortions in the frequency and all of that, it's about bringing you back into alignment with your divine blueprint and your soul contract, your personal soul contract, but also in alignment with Gaia's soul contract, which does include us as well.
Hmm.
It includes humanity. And so it you may experience any number of things, but don't let it make you nervous or frightened or anything like that. There's nothing to be afraid of. And I've already been warned that people may experience that. You may cry, you may feel, tingling or flows of energy or anything. It's all good. So
Hmm.
really just honor it for what it is and allow yourself to be in receipt of it, because you will only receive what it is that you need, right? What
Hmm.
it is that is needed by you. And your higher self, your I am presence, is what is dictating that, right?
Beautiful. I know that you're very particular and you do everything with purpose. And we're having this soul speak, this connection with Gaia and the transmission that's coming through. But you're also going to guide us more deeply through the special offer, an opportunity to go into transmissions with the Elohim to awaken the threefold flame. That's I'd love for you to explain what the threefold flame is. And does Gaia possess a threefold flame as well?
All sentient beings have some form of threefold flame. That's like a little tongue teaser, isn't it? Uh, so at the heart center, there is the threefold flame, and that is the original Trinity flame. That is your divine essence. And so there's the blue flame, which represents divine will. There is the golden flame, which represents divine wisdom, and there's the pink flame, which represents divine love. And when those flames ignite, and they are, I don't want to say in unison, but when all three flames ignite, there's a single beautiful white crystalline flame, which is like your divine essence, and that's that connection with your I am presence, with God the creator, with the higher planes and so forth. And that also, with that ignition, it's an opening of your divine purpose, any gifts that you came into this lifetime with, and just your connection to the higher realms, whether it be your angels and your guides, and be it God, whatever it is opening up that connection, but it's opening up that divine presence and purpose that you truly are within you. And that center resides within your heart. So the threefold flame transmission, say that, Elohim has provided 3 separate transmissions, and they aren't long transmissions. There's a bunch of information in there that I'm providing to you about what this is, how to utilize it. There is a Trinity flame symbol or sigil that's coming with it. And with each of the transmissions, you can do all 3 in one day, but they must be sequential, or you can complete all 3 within a 3-day period, but still sequential. You don't want to go over 3 days, because each one, it's in sequence and there's greater purpose. So you're receiving a certain level and then you take a jump. It's an up leveling each time. So you don't want to have too much time in between. Also, you can do it as many times as you desire. You can come back to it a year from now if you desire, right? So each time that you feel drawn to it, it will begin to fuel you even more. And you'll have a sense of receiving something totally different, or at a higher level each time that you listen to it. So it's not kind of like a one and done type of situation, which I don't like to do. I like to do things that are going to keep fueling your purpose, or fueling your work, or who it is that you are, your evolutionary process over time. And so this is something that you will be able to utilize for, as long as you wish, as long as you just listen to all 3 sequentially.
Well, and it brings us back into balance with that original blueprint, and
Yes.
and the remembrance that, again, we're being called to I'll say that we're being shaken into in lots of different ways.
Well, I can tell you, so it's an energetic ignition and attunement. And so it's going to awaken the inner Trinity flame, which we talked about, the threefold flame that unifies the heart, the mind, and the will with divine intelligence. It's going to activate and harmonize Kundalini flow through your central channel, and it's going to restore your original light blueprint to elevate your frequency into the higher dimensional self, and it will anchor the I am presence more fully into this physical vehicle.
Mm. Question for you. I already know the answer pretty much, but I want to ask because I'd love for you to deepen more into it. As we're igniting this flame into more luminosity within ourselves and attuning to it, really the transmission that's coming through is that high vibrational state in that message, that it actually rekindling that threefold flame and having a relationship and elevating it as we're capable to through our practice with it and relationship with it. It just anchors in our capacity to receive the light through the light language and the transmissions that are being offered here. And as we continue moving forward also, so they really act in support of one another.
Well, most definitely. I mean, it literally is. It is opening you up as a vessel, what Elohim calls the Holy Sepulchre, to receive. And I don't know if I've stated this on your show before, but if you think about the physical vehicle as a chalice, right? You have light that comes into the cup, which actually ends about at the throat. And then the physical body is the stem, and the feet are planted or rooted into the earth as the base of the chalice. And so when light starts to come in through the crown, there is a pressure is exerted down the stem of the chalice. And so it's that pressure of the light of God, the creator, that's coming down. That is you. That light is coming down, and it exerts pressure upon everything that you are. And anything that is not in resonance with that frequency, all of a sudden you need to release or surrender or let go of, right? And so that's what's happening in our process of ascendancy, is that we are becoming light, and everything that is a distortion of that or is not in resonance with that, it's got to go somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And so that's what's happening when we're experiencing all of these things, as more light comes in and we go through these, right? And then more light comes in and we're like, so we're going through these levels of release and chaos and so forth, and life just begins to look different, and things start to fall away, and we lose friends, and it's like we lose jobs, we lose relationships, and it's everything is really beginning to bring you into a higher resonance that is your truth. It is your divine and eternal self. And so that's what the threefold flame is actually doing. It is kind of divining and attuning you into that higher resonance so that you become an open chalice and you can thusly receive,
Mm,
right?
beautiful. Y'all, I didn't mention the special offer link. I wanted to get into the explanation of the threefold flame and the support that is and the expansion or buoying that is for the higher vibrational frequencies that we're receiving, but also part of what's happening just organically within as well. But to bring consciousness into it and to be in a relational dynamic of an awareness of it, really as a tool and a consciousness and intelligence for how we can receive and also be in stewardship of that light that we're activating within ourselves. It's an ancient tool that many of y'all may be familiar with, but have you been in the practice with it? Have you been awakening that within you? And again, as we're receiving these codes and these downloads and as the world is shifting, because we're in a transcendence in an era where we can't help but to evolve in such big ways that perhaps we never anticipated. In the grounded truth of what's really happening, it's a powerful, powerful gift that we get to harmonize within ourselves to really support what's become available. The link for the threefold flame transmission of Elohim, you can read what's offered in the special offer as we go through it. Maybe we'll go through it a little bit more with the link later on the call. But the special offer link is right there on the live page, on the replay page. You'll see the special offer button. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, you can always find the special offers on beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. Before we get into the transmission, Phyllis, if you're almost ready for that, I'm just feeling like this. It's ready to go, pop. But I'd love to know what your experience has been in receiving the message, preparing for it, as much as you're tuned in and a vehicle for these energies. It doesn't come without your own attunements and adjustments, and sometimes rub with what's growing within you as well, I would assume.
It's very interesting. I have just really come out come out of the
Okay.
closet with the last several weeks. I've been told ever since, everyone knows I've been surrounded by angels since I was a little girl, and I have always been told that I sit at the throne of God ever since I was a little girl. I didn't know what that meant, and then it was like, well, you're Seraph. I had no idea. I mean, we didn't have computers then, and a 7-year-old doesn't care, right? And so I was okay, but there was a part of me that knew that, and so they're like, you're Seraphim, you're Seraphim, you're Seraphim, and when I got older and understood that what that meant, I was like, sure, yeah, okay. And so I went through that for a long time, but I could feel it. And so I had to recognize that this last year I have been through so much of having to, I was introduced into looking at reality as more of like a matrix. So, I close my eyes to do the work. I see streams of things and symbols, and I'm doing so much more. And they're like, you have to recognize your Seraph heritage, because otherwise you're denying your true power and what needs to be connected and to come in. So it's really only the last 6 months maybe that I surrendered to that, because they had to prove, I'm always like, prove it to me, right? I just didn't want to tell people that, and I was like, what are people going to think of me? It's that thing, and you would think I'd be over that by now, but not really. Now I guess I am. It's like, but so I had to say, okay, what does that mean? And so, they were telling me that you are a seraphim angel, you sit at the throne of God, and you were requested to come into a physical life with greater purpose. I just got chills. And this is what you're here to do. And so the seraphim themselves are able to utilize tone and so forth to change frequency. So when I finally, and to create worlds, I mean, just to create in and of itself with sound. And so I just surrendered and was like, show me, and they did. And so then that energy began to come in, and there's more, all I can call it is power came in. And the power is initiated through the work that I do, and how high I'm able to go and what I'm able to bring through for the benefit of humanity and the planet. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. So with each of those things, because I'm in a physical form, right? It's not that I wasn't human or I'm not human, right? I've lived a human existence, but now I know who or what I am in addition. So the physical vehicle has to keep up with what is happening energetically speaking. But also, I have human emotions and feelings and trauma and all of that. And so over the last several weeks, well, actually, really since we started to have the kind of astrological occurrences and eclipses and the moon, everything that was happening one after the other, it started with the alignment of all the planets. Because I'm so connected with that, and I can feel the energy intensely. It really started to change me. It really started to reveal things. And as I was talking about earlier, like any type of distortions within my own my matrices, right? Anything that's distorted has to go, or it is being rewired. So I've been going through like a whole rewiring and releasing of things. And my goodness, you start working on your ancestors and your parents, and oh my God, you're working on all that stuff, right? And you work on it again, and it comes up, and you work on it again. And then it like showed up a couple days ago, and it was my mother, and I'm just like, I was like, it's like, okay, God. And so I literally had my final releases. Recognition was last night. It was something, there was a catalyst, and I had my final release of all of that this morning. And then there was a recognition as they're telling me, you needed to surrender. You needed to fully surrender, and all of it just, when you surrender and just, let go, let God type of thing, when you surrender, then you give a freedom for all of that stuff that's not in alignment to just come out. And it was intense. But I just breathed through it, because I know that a lot of it wasn't mine. I didn't want to claim ownership. Some of it was mine, right? But I don't need it any longer, right? It's no longer in alignment. And what the Elohim has taught me is the simplicity that God has given us to just let go, because we're here to have experience after experience after experience until our final experience is a transition from the physical form. But we're not supposed to carry past experiences into the next one. There are learnings, there are things that we learn from those circumstances, but then it is a rebirth, a recreation, a new creation, right? Based upon the past and what we have learned. But humanity has carried a lot of baggage from one experience to the other until we've become so weighed down. So the beautiful thing about that, though, is there's so many processes that I've learned in the past and people have given me to circumvent that or to release. And Elohim is like, is that working for you? Why don't you just let it go? And but I can't. Do I have to rehash that? It's kind of like they're like, no, it doesn't belong in the present moment. It is not part of the present moment. Thusly, you can just let it go. And so that's what happened to me this morning, because I was in this heavy duty angst and crying and all of this, and I was and all of a sudden it was like surrender. And so I did. And then I just dropped into this state where these energies were pouring through me, intensified, but they were leaving. They were just going through. Right? And I just got chills again. And I was like, I recognized it and I was like, thank you, thank you. Just expressing gratitude, but realizing I didn't need to torment myself. I didn't need to rehash trauma. I didn't need to look at anything again or reevaluate stuff. And we do not have to do that. But most people believe that they do. Right? And you don't. So I just listened and I surrendered. And I was told, just breathe, because then I was holding my breath. So, and then light came in. I just felt, and I was just drained. And then I just felt this beautiful flow of light just permeating my presence and all that I am. Yeah.
That's beautiful, Phyllis. Wow. That reminds me of an experience I had over the weekend also. And I was having feelings that didn't make sense to me, and just an agitation and a feeling of burden that it felt off kilter with the way I navigate in the sense where I feel like I'm running on all cylinders and everything is great. And I became aware that as my empathy and my vibrational standard is increasing, and this is true for everybody on this call, y'all, as empaths and as those of us who are refining and attuning to a light source, a crystalline energy that is our divine truth. We call it divine inheritance, but it's our divine truth, that we do become more sensitive to what isn't in that truth. And so I became aware of, not only as an empath, of what I'm feeling collectively, what's happening, but I also was aware of anywhere that I'm feeling what's in a collective that's still mine to release as well. And so it wasn't about just a pouring out and saying, well, it's all the collective, it's not me. It was inviting all aspects of mind that recognize the lower vibrational element that's running through a system that the light is not willing to support anymore. Like Gaia will eventually, she'll say, it's like, that's it. I don't think we're going to get there. I think we're all going to ascend. But still, the quality of that and the awareness of how, again, it is all interconnected. It is guiding us to the sovereign refinement. And in that sovereign refinement, how we can hold a threshold for our brothers and sisters in humanity to recognize the transcendence that's available for them as well, with compassion, not for the need to fix it, but with the understanding of what's taken place during this time now. And so we can really hold it in our power, our authentic power, and light for what's coming through, and how, again, we're all walking each other home. Um, so it's so beautiful it's coming through. Y'all, I think I want to, Phyllis, if you're ready, I think I want to get into the transmission if you're available for it. And y'all, again, the link for the special offer, the threefold flame, it's in the chat box. We'll talk a little bit more about it a little bit later on the call. The transmissions with Phyllis and the Elohim are just absolutely profound, and an experience for so many senses. I cannot recommend it enough. And what a timely and amazing offer, that I would recommend, as all of y'all who participate in the Threefold Flames special offer and the sigil that's offered there as well. Come back and download later tonight's transmission as well, and have it be something that you go back into in your refinements in your relationship to Gaia also, and include that as part of the package offering that you have access to over and over again. Um, so I'm not sure if there's anything else that you want to add to that, or if you just want to go into the transmission. You tell me.
Let's go into the transmission, and then we can cover that afterwards.
Beautiful.
Because yeah. Whew. Okay.
All right. I'm checking out. I'll be back when you're done. I'm going in with you.
And I'm just going to make sure that you can hear this, and you can let me know, please.
For sure.
Can you hear that?
No, it's very faint. Yes,
You
I
can
can
hear
hear
my
that.
voice. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Faint is okay. Take a moment to connect. Take a few deep breaths, and on each exhale, let go. Sending your energy down into the earth, deep and wide, like the roots of a tree, reaching towards her central crystalline core, the womb of creation. And feel her energy respond as it flows up through the roots and into the body and into your heart. Breathe. Send your energy upwards into the cosmos, reaching towards the sun, the moon, the planets, the higher planes, the angelic realms, and beyond. Feeling that energy respond, coming down through the branches and into the body, through the crown and into the heart. Breathe. There's nothing to do. Listen with all of your being. Relax into the flow of the energy. Relax into what it is you are about to receive. The transmission will begin. I receive the scroll. Upon the scroll is a geometric form or key. its renditions. There were 12. 2 have merged. There are now 9, 10. All will eventually merge as one with the ascension of our planet. Sigir batutira tabayera kasukutunch. Tukura. Sana mamaka era kuya sibira ganana tu. Ishkunda. Armako yera sipikini no rutunda. Staka beria ut. Tira kotutungu. Retishira mina mamaka era kuchukujimonto. Asakechiri mimi matu. Era kura svenya mamaka chichikere tutun. Apai kura njatu kichindere. Spiria kapapatu. Ukuere atu. na hore jire amara re ramare sorore amara re no toro annara re rendo tore annara re no muro ore gene na somore gonde na sore gande nore gande tore tun. Serabere perché episod kunde sira mamma che episod undre spaia kakakatundre spaia rudo. Sukunda perché la mamma ieri tur che patura che mamma che cikendere tur. Sa mamma che tukundre stire tapa. Na mamma che tur se chiere mamma. Sa mamma core banana nandere cultura. Shere ro mahar. Mira matukure yamare. Sonda bayere, nena mama kare turo, amare re namare, amare re mare, amare re mare amasore, amare sore re amare sore, amare re amare sore, amare re amare We are complete. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. Y'all take your time, come back slowly. Allow the integration and the grace and the remembrance, the assimilation. I'll take a deep inhale in and exhale out. Receive, expand, awaken. The comments are just pouring in, Phyllis.
I was just looking, trying to gather myself, trying to gather all my bits and pieces.
I think we're all doing that, and how wonderful that we can do that gracefully together here without having to rush. There's no rush coming back. Just really let's all tune in slowly to ourselves and to each other. Feeling the support of this collective here. Holding that amplified state. We stand upon the shoulders of each other as beacons as to what's possible coming in form here now. Phyllis, what are you guided to share?
I need a nap.
Yeah.
That was immense. That's the only word I have. That was the most. No, now I know why I had all this clearing and preparatory measures, because that was a lot. Uh, when I began, it was a reminder that we had 12 Earths. So when we look at that from our perspective, we think of it like as other planes of existence. So our soul comes in and we are on, some of us we're on all 12. There's only 10 right now because two have merged. So what's happening is, just to keep it simplistic because that's a long conversation, all of the 12 Earths are basically merging as one. So each of the Earths was a different experiment, different circumstance, right? Way of being. And so each of those Earths, they are merging one by one into each other. And so eventually, upon the process of ascension for Gaia and humanity, I'm assured we will be there, there will be one single Earth. And then that will be the end of the experiment, so to speak. Not necessarily the end of Earth, but the end of this experiment. And so at the beginning, then I was shown the 10 remaining Earths and trails of threads of different expression, because it's not just our Earth. That scared me a little because I was like, ooh, okay. So it's kind of like when you're talking about the divine blueprint of our planet, but they were also including some other threads from the different versions of Earth as well. So I was a little nervous as to what that was going to entail, energetically speaking. But that was beautiful. And then I saw images in the beginning of just the creational aspect of our solar system, our planet and so forth. Just these quick flyby like visions of things coming into form. And so throughout that, I had, I'm reading. There's some I'm reading because there's literally like a scroll that comes in, but then it just beams light, and that's this whole multidimensional thing. And so I'm singing it, and I might speak it, and I'm doing other other things as well. So I was shown that, and then there were little glimpses of like ancient peoples and indigenous peoples, and it just like a progression and so forth. And it was just a progression of peoples, because they weren't showing like dinosaurs or anything like that. But it was just the progression, evolution of humanity. Yeah, and there was a little bit of that, and then it was like energies that I can't translate, but it was more I could feel, where I was feeling at like emotions almost from her for humanity, a great deal of love, but also things that have occurred, and kind of energetically attuning or entraining the frequency of the desired aspect with the not desired aspect. And it was kind of coming into tune. It was tuning somehow. It was receiving an attunement. So I saw that was occurring. And at one point I saw people, humans, not differentiated, but humans, a field of humans. And there were just like streams of light coming down from above through the crowns, and there was energy coming up from the earth through the bottoms of the feet as well. So there was like a bringing into alignment or resonance with the cosmic aspect and the earth aspect as well. And then other than that, I'm just a conduit, so I'm just letting it come through.
Receiving. I love what y'all are sharing in the chat, and I'm going to read through some of them in a little bit. The special offer is of purpose, the threefold flame, the sigil. How does the special, and y'all, the link for the special offers in the chat box. You have it there on the live page, on the replay page where it says special offer. On YouTube, if you're listening, look in the comments section for the link or go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. The sigil and the special offer with the threefold flame, what does that facilitate, Phyllis?
What does it facilitate?
Yes.
It is, well, as I was explaining earlier, it is the awakening of the threefold flame, bringing in divine will, divine wisdom, and divine love. So it's the integration of that, and those are the three aspects of who and what you truly are as an infinite divine being, as God within physical form. Those are the three aspects. And so having those ignited is then allowing you to fully be a sovereign being. You choose to surrender, but to be a sovereign being who then recognizes that you create your own life, you create your own circumstance, you create your own reality. You can create, we together as a collective can create a new world, a new earth. You hear that term, like new earth. And so it's assisting you to become your true and elevated self, and but also revealing through the ignition of those flames, you're revealing everything that's not in alignment with that. It's also activating like the dormant, or should I say, the dormant spiritual DNA, which is also a what they call the lost the term, the spherical, I can't even say that word, spherical field that is connected to all that is, essentially. And so it is activating your true and divine and holy blueprint. It's bringing you into alignment with who and what you truly are, right? As a creator. And with that, it's allowing you a much, I was going to say much higher, but it's allowing you full discernment as to what is not in alignment with that. So you will have you'll be able to view life and witness life from a higher perspective and discern what is truly, really happening without being kind of in it, right? You are rising above it. You're able to kind of look and see really and understand what's going on and to witness it from a higher perspective that you can say, oh, that's interesting, right? Instead of like, oh my God, what's going on? It's ruining my life, because we can only be responsible really for ourselves first. And then as a group, you can have community that might be in alignment with some theme, of doing something right. But a lot of people don't pay attention to themselves first. You yourself as an individual and individuation of God are the key and very specific key to this physical existence. You can't ignore yourself, right? Because you can't if you don't trust and have faith within yourself, if you yourself are not in alignment, then you cannot accomplish what it is you came into this physical life to accomplish. And then you're one of those people that are always just giving away, right? And everyone has expectations of you, and you have no expectations for yourself, right? And you need to have those expectations for yourself, because everybody that's alive now, everyone that's on this call, everyone that's seeking all of this and in alignment with this, you are here for you have a very specific purpose for being in this lifetime now. And so a lot of what's happening with people, and you're coming out of you're really being knocked out of your comfort zone, right? To be able to recognize truth and understand you've been living in like this matrix reality kind of thing, right? And so we are leaving the matrix.
Really, we're unifying again
We're
as
unified,
the
yes.
transmission. Yes, and those fractured states of us are coming back into the divine third, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
The aspects are coming together and forming the unity consciousness of us.
Well, it's bringing in. It's bringing in all aspects of who you are into alignment. That's physical,
Right.
emotional, mental, spiritual, energetic, right? Because a lot of people, they're physical, emotional, spiritual, and they're just living their life like that with a lot of emotionality. But the energetic spiritual is like out here on a shelf somewhere. And it's like, oh well,
Mm.
I might entertain that. You bring it in, but we have to bring everything in alignment, because that is truly who you are. You can't have one fully and completely without the other.
Beautiful. Y'all, the link for the special offer again is in the chat box. You know where to find that on the pages and in the marketplace. There's a 2 payment offer. The transmissions from Phyllis, you felt what came through here and the support of that and the expansion and the vibrational attunement and refinement into a harmonic frequency that's available and offered through, again, a vibrational space of an Elohim that's just like, it's just so activating, profound, y'all. I hope y'all take advantage of it and dive deeper with Phyllis and the Elohim through the special offer. And of course, come back and listen to the replay. We'll have this up. And when you go into it, don't rush into it. Give yourself grace. Come out of it gracefully, slowly, and feel the support of the beings and of Gaia and the Elohim and your guides buoying you as you attune into the higher vibrational stance that you're ready to take the mantle of. So again, the replay is going to be amazing. I want to read some of the experiences here. Y'all, my experience in Phyllis, I wanted to share a big part of it. Again, just so much vibrating up and out. But there was a point where I felt, it almost felt like a soul recovery, like an aspect of me got woken up that hadn't, like the alarm wasn't at a volume that he could hear it or the tone that he was ready to quite hear it. And it was a he in this aspect by any chance. And I felt him get up and kind of like out of bed and being awoken into, it's time now. And from that, I saw a, a Fibonacci spiral of other aspects of me or of other people awakening into that spiral consciousness. And then I felt these beings standing behind me in unison and support and harmony of the expansion that's taken place. And I felt that for myself personally, but I also see it as a reflection of what we're doing collectively. So it was profound. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to journal about it afterwards as well. Um, Lorraine was saying that her head got very hot. Mishan said, I also felt, I lost it. Hold on a second. Colleen said, I had to physically stand up for the harmony. Mishan, hold on, felt like he was being stretched upwards and spine elongated. I did see a baby birthed in a cave, and it was by a fire in winter. Love that. Tara, beyond words, amazing. There's so much totally amazing. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Majestic. It was majestic. Gorgeous. Again, so many comments coming in, y'all, and everybody's experience, y'all. We're all individual sovereign beings and we're all awakening parts of ourselves that are part of the collective as well. So your experience and what came through for you is so valid and so valuable. So I want to thank you all for sharing and for being willing to receive and to walk forward with what you're receiving.
Somebody asked as well that they were listening to like a previous transmission and they were wondering if they could use a special offer in addition to this. Yes, I would actually. Whoever it was, Kimmy. I guess. Whoever is, if you're going through like a transmission, complete that process first, and then you can do the next transmission.
Beautiful. Phyllis, this was amazing. It's thank you so much. Y'all, we're going to run the replays. I am guided to allow all of us to just relax into what's still flowing through. You too, Phyllis.
I know. I'm sweating profusely.
I know. I'm spinning also. Y'all, again, the replay will be up. Amazing. Thank you to everybody here on the live call, on the replays, holding the container for what came through today. And again, as you receive, may you shall give. And the love that you receive, may you be open to express that love with the luminosity and the majesty that you are. Blessings, Phyllis. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, John. Much appreciated.
Namaste, everybody.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Bye.